When it comes to survival, shelter is one of the key pieces. Earlier we learned about the rule of threes. You can live about 3 hours without shelter. And remember, shelter is the clothes that you have with you, the clothes that you've brought, your rain gear and your exposure protection from the elements. When you hear in the news about people dying, they die of what they call exposure. It's really just hypothermia. They fail to protect themselves from the environment. So one of the things that you can do is, if you have that rain poncho or a piece of plastic or a space blanket, you can make a water impermeable shelter with your cordage or your dental floss or things like that. If you have nothing, you can make something as simple as a debris hut. And this is nothing more than a stout stick leaned up against the V of a tree with many other sticks stacked up on top of it to create the frame. And then just piles and piles of leaves shoved on top to create insulation and protection from the rain. There's other things that you could do if those materials were handy. Things like bark, you could use it as shingling. You could use pine boughs if you're in a survival situation, but don't do that if you're not in a survival situation, because we don't want to damage the trees, for practice sakes. But piles of pine boughs. And then when you've got the structure, then what you do is you just fill the inside with dry leaves. And dry leaves are great insulation. They work for squirrels, they work for rodents, they'll work for you. What you do is you just fill the inside of this with leaves, and you just burrow right in there and create a nice, warm, cozy shelter for yourself. We slept in this shelter for 2 nights, and we had about 1.5 inches of rain the second night, and comfy and warm, and that was in April.